Hello and welcome to Mr. Clark After Dark, everyone. My name is Lucas Clark and I am a certified educator with Alberta Education and the Alberta Teachers Association. All conversations and interactions exchanged is intended for educational and entertainment purposes only. In no way does the content discussed intend to be in violation of the ATA Code of Conduct or meant to target any individual student, teacher, or to belittle or demean the profession in any way. If you have something that you would like me to discuss or have a story of your own to share, please reach out at lucasrdclark97@gmail.com. You can also send a direct message to me on Instagram at Mr. Clark After Dark. Hope you enjoy the show, and please do not forget to subscribe. And now, on to the show. Hope you all enjoy.
3, 2, 1, yeah!
Hello, friends. My guest today is Steve Hulan. He is a physical education teacher now in his 18th year in the profession. Steve and I discussed his Newfie roots, the significance of the shed, if being an administrator is worth the money, and finding ways to supplement your teacher income, how teacher burnout is different for everyone, dealing with insane gym class sizes, how your perception of teaching changes if you are in the position that you want or not, and much more. Thanks for tuning in and hope you enjoy the show. All right, well, welcome, Steve Hulan. Thanks for coming on, sir.
Good morning, how are you?
Good, man. So I had one very important question come up when I was asking people what to ask you.
Oh gosh, okay.
And it was, how?
Well, I'm a ginger, so we can leave that to the imagination. So, no, I won't lie, you kind of threw me here a little bit. I didn't expect that question. Wow, good for you. You have stumped a 43-year-old man.
We'll let their mind wander.
Yeah, just ginger, right up freckles.
Okay.
I lost a shit fight, as they say. I stood in front of a screen door and then just lost a shit fight.
Okay. Well, that's actually not what I want to start out with, but
okay.
One of my main things is I definitely respect your willingness to say what is needed to be said. And so...
Well, that's funny because for years, I don't know if you've been to my garage or shed.
No.
Okay. Well, you'll get
one day.
Yeah. Well, yeah. It's an entity, and a few people on staff have been in the shed. Pollard, been there quite.
So, what is
few.
the significance of the shed to a Newfoundlander like yourself?
For me, it's just my space. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm okay. So I don't know if people know this about me, but I am a super tidy, clean person. Yeah. Structure is the key to life, in my opinion. Okay. You don't have structure. Yeah. You're missing the boat. Yeah. On how to be driven, how to have ambition. Yeah. And my shed, even my shed, it's made of plywood, and it's 12 by 18. It's heated. Yeah. It's got a TV. Yeah. But it's like Chelsea knows that she doesn't really have an opinion. Of what I do.
It's your space. The house is kind of hers.
I don't care, right? Yeah, I don't care. So it's my shed. I kind of forget where we were going with this.
Yeah, you said you were going. I haven't been to the shed, but.
Yeah, no. What is it to me? It's this one.
No, that's a little dial
here.
Yeah,
it's tight, pretty tight. Sorry, I shanked.
No worries. This thing is kind of.
Oh, wonderful! There you go. Yeah, no, I got onto mindset when you answered that question. First, the cop question for me. I have friends for years. We sit in the shed and we talk about just life and whatnot. Argue, but nothing. And for years, the boys have said, "You should be on a podcast, man." Yeah. I won't lie, I was nervous. I had a few wines last night. When I say a few, I had a couple bottles. Yeah. Sitting around watching you see the Jays game last night? No. Oh my God, it was so exciting. They won 5-4. The playoffs started today. They're in. Drop a game and a half on Texas. Good day yesterday. Yeah, it's a good day. So I was, even Chelsea said, she said, "So what are you going to talk about?" I said, "Whatever Clark wants to talk about." She goes, "You can't go off." So long story. Yeah. She goes, "You can't go off," because I know you're going to try and get me to go off. And I'm in a mood to kind of go off.
No, but you know what? Because I think there's a way about going and commenting on the things that kind of need to be talked about without actually targeting anyone or belittling anyone. You know what I mean?
No, and people who really know me, I'm very black and white. I'm not gray, or I try to be less gray. Gray is where we are in the world, and that's what causes problems.
Okay, so what do you mean?
Like, have an opinion, have a strong opinion, listen to other people's opinions. You can't get offended. People say you shouldn't. No, you can't get offended with someone else's opinion. Guess what? Opinions are like assholes. Everybody got one. Right? So, let's, like, I say to students, what opinions like noses? You can't say assholes, right? Yeah. Even though I do.
Yeah.
Like, say it like it is.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with being passionate. There's a fine line between being assertive and aggressive. Yeah. I won't lie. I'm an athlete. I'm a jock. I'm a physics teacher. I get fired up. I'm competitive. Yeah. So, like, I know I get aggressive. I try and be assertive. So what would we say? What's less than assertive?
Less than assertive would be.
Yeah,
if you're less than assertive, I'd say you are
just less assertive.
I feel like there's a compelling.
Oh, good one. Yeah,
that could be something where it's your. Well, so that's kind of the point. It's kind of going from assertive to compelling is kind of the countering the more likely to go toward being offended side of the culture.
Yeah.
Like you need to come across more of a. There needs to be more consideration taken into what other people are saying when it comes to actually having a productive conversation. That's kind of my note so far. Because a lot of things in education are pretty touchy.
Humans don't talk anymore.
Yeah.
It's texting. It's messaging. And listen, I'm guilty of it too. Like, there's hours upon hours, I'll literally be on my phone. And I'm like, why am I on my phone?
Yeah. Oh, even like so.
Put it down, kitchen, peace out, I'm out. I won't touch it for a while.
Even for creating this podcast, I was like, okay, my thinking was, I need to get back on social media. Because I didn't have it for a full year.
Good for you.
I deleted everything. I had no Facebook, no Twitter. I loved it.
Yeah.
And I said to Cassidy, I was like, you know what? I need to get Instagram. I kind of want something to try to post. Well, yeah, post something about it. I don't have Facebook or Twitter or anything. I said, this will be my one link. Yeah. I said, I think if I have one social media, I'll be able to control it. And then,
I like it.
But then I say, I'll delete it off my phone. But then I say, I'll delete it later. I don't go on it that much. But then I've even noticed lately things have been kind of coming out. So I've been on a lot more people are interacting with me a little bit more than I know.
Yeah. Well, I think I sent you an Instagram message. And I don't send many messages. I'm a big laughing guy, liking, and that was it.
Well, the message you sent me was I was going for an old man walk later in the evening, and it was just grow up.
Well,
no, nothing else. I didn't need anything else from you, though.
No, I
know.
That was one of those. Because you know when you get like when you say grow up, like there's a thousand things that they can be at that juncture, right?
There's shed meaning to grow up.
Yes, it's there's a thousand things. Like when people first hear it, they're just like, what? Like, just grow up.
Yeah, just grow up.
And then when they click in, you can see like the hamster on the wheel. They're like, oh, okay. He needs grow up.
You mean
right? Like it's a term. Right?
But it even means something different to them, but then they still get it.
Well, it's like it's actually just a nicer way of saying, shut up, you're a tool.
Yeah.
Like, right? Like, or stop being an asshole.
Yeah.
Grow up.
Yeah.
So, like, right? I actually said it to a kid. He was funny. He was being just contrary. Like, just, whiny, tired, I guess, whatever. I was like, grow up. Yeah. He said, what, sir? I go, nothing, never mind. Walked away.
Yeah. How's this year been for you? Kind of coming back.
It's good. It's good. I won't get into too much detail. My summer was different. Yeah. There were days of relaxing, but I should say there was moments of relaxing. Yeah. But not many days of it. Yeah. Just lots going on, right? And time and a place, and I can get into that another time. Yeah. But it was busy. It was just I spent a month in Newfoundland, which was nice. Mm-hmm. I spent some really good quality time with my parents. Yeah. My dad and I never got to spend as much time as we like. We like salmon fishing. Yeah. Fly fishing is like as much of a hockey player, a golfer I am. Like salmon fishing is just if you haven't done it. Mm-hmm.
So what is it about it, you think?
Well, Newfoundland cell phone service is terrible as it is.
Yeah, which is kind of nice.
And in the river,
I like it.
There's no cell phone service. Yeah. Like, if I wasn't had intentions of taking photos, it's pointless to have your phone. Yeah. And oftentimes I'll leave my phone in my dad's truck. Yeah. It's just solitude. Like, it's the river. It's the blue sky. It's the fresh air. It's the scenery. It's time with my dad. Yeah. Right? Like, Because I'm 43. By the way, it's my last day as a 43-year-old today.
Wow. Okay. Happy early birthday.
Thank you. Yeah, I love my birthday. We should love my birthday.
Oh yeah.
It's your day.
No, some people are. So the person who shares your office with you, I remember I asked him how old he was. He said, "I don't even remember, man. I have no idea." I said, "I think 38." I was like, "What do you mean? Do you think 38?" So I'm still. I want my lemon cheesecake. I want everyone to sing me happy birthday as much as everyone hates it, and then just have a good night. I don't see a problem with that at all.
So obviously I'm weird, but I want people to know it's my birthday, but I don't ever want them to sing happy birthday to me.
Okay.
I get sheepish. I get embarrassed. I don't like being the center of attention, but I want to be.
It's like I want you to be thinking about me, but I don't want you to say you're thinking about me.
I want you to know it's my birthday, but if you sing happy birthday, I'm fucking punch you in the face. Like, or I want to figuratively like ninja kick you.
Yeah.
So, yeah. No, it's back to summer. Summer was good. Fishing is just like like I said, solitude, quiet.
Yeah.
It's if you haven't tried it, I would suggest trying it. It's difficult.
Yeah.
I've
never been salmon or fly fishing. I've been cod fishing many times, but yeah.
I've seen some pictures of you cod fishing in the summer.
Yeah.
It's difficult.
Oh.
I'm average at it. Mm-hmm. I watch my dad fish, and it's something you see on a fishing trail.
Just
like
effortless.
Like, so you know how golf, you have that hitch at the top of your back, so you have a hitch.
Yeah,
not so much
I do that.
Yeah, you do. You have a great hitch.
Okay.
And then like that hitch, you come down, so it's like fly fishing. You bring the line back. There's a split second hitch
like
pause at the top.
Kind of
yeah, and then it's a flick of the wrist, and it's just a snap of the line, and you're just like, yeah, okay. So, I don't have that, Dad. Like,
yeah, so I've been trouting before.
Yeah,
I've never actually gone, and I find like cod fishing when you're in a boat with similar people can be almost even more stressful because everyone's lines are getting tangled. It's a whole thing.
Yeah.
But it's different when you're actually just in the solitude, in the quiet. Because honestly, it's probably you and your dad don't even really talk. But it's still just...
No, but like...
you have that like agreement. Like a silent agreement
absolutely.
That we're here.
Like we want to be there on the river together.
Yeah. But don't say too much.
Like I remember being a kid, like 30 years ago. Like I started fishing. My dad used to take me when I was like 8 or 9. Yeah. And he's got this distinctive whistle.
Okay.
And he can be like, so my dad's a wanderer in the river, so we'll drop off. Especially when I was younger. Once I was comfortable, he's gone up the river, down the river.
Yeah.
We're following where he thinks the fish are gonna go.
Okay.
So like even more so now where I'm an adult, like he doesn't need to worry about me. But he'll be around. Well, he probably should. Some of the situations I go to bed at 6 a.m. and get up fishing at 7:30. Not driving.
Just not being able to sleep. Right?
Exactly. Yeah. But he's got this distinctive whistle, so he can be up around so there's a river in Western Flat Bay Brook.
Okay.
Turn pool where you come down. There's an older cabin, so you can go left up around the round turn pool, horn we call it, or you go down to the Strawberry pool.
Yeah.
I'll go down. My dad will be up. If he disappears and I don't hear from him, he's he's so greasy that way. Right? He wants me to come look for him because he knows I'll be mad he got one on and I don't, right? Or he'll give a little I can't do it. He has this distinctive whistle. Yeah. And I hear it. Yeah. And even when you'll hear it whistling everywhere. Yeah. When I hear it, I'm actually literally looking around at the father, right? I'm like, ooh.
That's like his flexing whistle.
Kind of. It's just kind of like, hey, right? Yeah. I'm up here.
Hey, Steve.
Come have a look.
This is where the fish are.
Yeah. I'm having more fun than you are right now, right? Anyway, yeah. Sorry, I'm just chatting.
No, that's all right. No, this is perfect. And but I'm thinking
how was your summer, by the way? You asked me how was your summer?
Well,
you spent time at Kings Point.
Also interesting because I've a bit of a new family dynamic myself there since my dad passed away a few years ago, and but the summer, first July I did summer school, which it was
better question. Worth the time and money?
I think so.
Okay.
Right now, being a little bit earlier on, I mean, realistically, you work essentially 14 days. It's 8 to 2. And then the overall gross earnings, I mean, it's not a secret. You can look at it online.
Yeah, it's all public knowledge.
Yeah, it's $5,700 gross, and you clear almost $4,000 for essentially 14 days working 90 hours total.
Do math, right? That's good money.
That's not bad at all.
Right.
When it comes
over $300 a day.
100
take home, right?
Yeah, and so the kids, and for social studies especially, I don't envy the people who teach bio 30 or physics 30, and some of kind of those more intense ones. When you're teaching a non-diploma social studies course, it's not as bad. But I kind of had the same view of Newfoundland, and I'm almost finding that in Newfoundland, I had a conversation with Dolmont last year, and I said, how do you check out of school?
Yeah.
And especially as a principal,
You need to go and ask.
100%. Because he even said, coming to McTavish, he said, there's probably 20 school days in a month. And he said, as a principal, he said there's roughly 7 to 8 of those days there are evening meetings that he has to attend, or something he kind of has to be involved in, either with district office or with parent council. There's so many different groups when you have this high school this big.
I won't talk about all those things.
No.
Although you may have a question about it.
Yeah. But essentially, he said the summer is the only time I can check out.
Yeah.
Like, that's really the only time I get
That's what you're
2
supposed
months.
to do.
Yeah.
Right? Like, people who don't know our job really don't get it.
Yeah.
And as I will
So
say,
what do you mean? Go on, elaborate on that.
well,
Why is it so
teaching is tough.
prone to burnout, you think? More so or like less of another job?
I mean, so I'm almost 20, this is my 18th year. I'm almost 20 years in. And I think, like, I'm programmed differently. I have momentary burnout. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I feel that.
Yeah. I definitely haven't burned out. I still like my career. I tell those people, I don't hate going to work.
Yeah.
I dislike some days I gotta go to work.
Yeah. And
I like mostly other days that I got the job I got.
Yeah.
Like for me, I like the building. I live real close. I have a scooter.
Yeah.
We all know I'm a scooter guy,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
But I love my colleagues.
Yeah.
I've developed friendships with people that I work with that hopefully are are life lasting, right?
Yeah.
But the burnout question, it's a tough question actually, because, well, to start, it's in my 18 years of teaching, all we've seen is increased class size, increased expectation.
Mm-hmm. So what's the increased expectation?
Well, there's always a little more, right? We'll go back to the internet question, internet stuff. The fact that everything we do now can be recorded in a second, every mark we input, everything we correct, every Google sheet we create, every Google Classroom, it is completely accessible. Like, yeah, we invite kids, but it's not hard for people to get the codes to our classrooms and be completely linked into the matrix, right? So because everything is out there, there's just expectations of like parental content and expectations that like we post pictures of what we're doing in our classrooms because we need to have that out there. Yeah. Do we need to have that out there?
Yeah, what should the separation between essentially home and school look like? Because I think those are kind of becoming more of the same thing.
Yeah. Every day we come to work, schools are becoming less schools. So they're becoming less education. Right now, like so a colleague of ours, I won't say names, we'll keep names out of this. We have a good problem with the fact that we continue to grow.
100%.
McTavish is absolutely massive.
Yes, like we're over with 1,540 students.
And I've been here since day one, so I've kind of I'm like, oh shit.
It was just one of the junior high schools.
Yeah,
it wasn't
we're
anything
huge.
yet.
So we have great teachers in this building, and I don't know all of them yet. And I'm a bit of a weirdo. I stay down my rat hole. I may not even talk to anyone really. Like, it's not because I don't like them.
It's not because there's literally
so many people.
100 staff.
Yeah, there's so many
literally 100 staff here. Yeah.
And so right now, because of the size of our building, we're managing rooms and managing behaviors more than we are teaching how to be better people, how to be better humans, what's right from wrong. Does that make sense?
100%. Well, it's almost as if the bigger it gets, the better it gets, because like we're seeing it's better to be growing obviously than not, right?
Absolutely.
But it's also the point where at what point are we not able to actually do what we're intending to do? Like what actually remains then, do you think, about what we're actually preparing kids for life after school? Yeah.
So like I'll give you an example. Like I'm a phys ed teacher. I share a gym with another one of our colleagues, a delightful guy. Yeah. We got, I don't know the final count because you know this. Yeah. You're 2 to 3 weeks before your numbers really get concrete. Yeah. We find that kids have transferred, have moved away. Yeah. Then we get an odd kid who transfers in. because family dynamics are different and we don't know what's going on, and that's okay. So we got anywhere between 70 and 80 kids in a gym, 2 teachers. So we had a conversation. Well, what do we do with 70 plus kids? So we had a quick math conversation about it, and I said, well, I'll put it this way: we can play mostly games, and 50 to 60% of our kids are sitting still. Not nowhere close ideal. What I would want for a phys ed class. If you do more skill based, you have 80% of your kids. Yeah, they're standing upright, but they're standing in lines waiting to do a skill. So do you go with 80% of kids standing still, or 60-ish% of kids sitting and waiting their turn? What do you do? It's an ugly recipe.
And so what kind of number does it get to as an individual class where you kind of start to see that problem creep up?
Well, our varsity gym is too small anyway. That's another conversation for another time.
Yeah.
I really wish it would have been created bigger, but that's in that size of a gym, ideal class size, 28. Like 28 is very manageable because you always got a number of reasons why kids aren't there. Yeah. You know, they're representing our community at an event, sporting event, play, gymnastics, whatever the case may be, whatever they're into, band. So they're away. So you're probably down 4 to 7% on a day-to-day basis, right?
So you're kind of hoping like 25 show up.
Yeah,
2 teams of 4 teams of 5.
Yeah, so we can even say an ideal class is 30 because you're probably only going to get 26 and 27 kids.
Again, because that is one of the more likely ones to be skipped. That's kind of the reality as well.
Yeah.
Social is pretty much the same for me as well.
You skip phys ed, you're a loser. Like really, let's call a spade a spade. Like what you should want to be active. I'm not asking you to reinvent the wheel. Stand up, elevate your heart rate, be less.
Do you find that's more challenging now?
Useless, be less lazy.
Yeah. Do you find, because I almost find, I do my best to work out as much as I can. But even
look at me, you know me. I'm a gym rat, true and true.
But the thing is, I find I still feel lazy.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. But so many people like don't do anything.
Okay, so here's my question to you: You feel lazy? Is that you just internalizing and being hard on yourself?
100,000%.
Right.
And I think so.
Because you're not lazy.
No, I don't think so.
You go for these old man walks. Right?
Oh yeah.
Don't forget along the river with I'm moseying on a stroll. Come on, right?
I'm usually
grow up.
But yeah, it's just the narrative of the old man walk just sticks. But
I like it actually.
Yeah, they're fun. I mean,
you're gonna get an old man. I'm gonna send you a picture of me on my old man walk.
Oh, 100%. And I
tell me grow up.
Well, seriously, everyone said a 30 to 45 minute walk at the end of the day, just a self debrief. I find like I'm almost actually kind of not nervous, but the winters here are obviously awful, you know that. But I think like the outdoor rink, you can kind of make up for it, but just going for a walk in minus 35 is just not part of the good.
I find my mental health in the winter.
Like, you don't have a driveway though. I see what you're saying, but like we live
show me your neighbor's walkway.
Fair enough. You do find a reason to kind of just.
I show my neighbor's walkway all the time. Yeah. I have a new neighbor. His name is I don't pronounce it correctly, but I call him Dollar.
Okay.
Right. So of course I'm like dollar bill, y'all.
Yeah.
When he comes home from work, he thinks I'm insane, right? He does. He's such a nice guy. So we'll chat, but like he'll never ask and I'll never tell him. But I guarantee you, I'll shovel his walkway 25, 30 times, because it's like 3 minutes of my time.
Yeah.
I'm already excited for 10. What's 13 minutes? Yeah. Right. Throw a hat on, pair of mitts. Even in minus 30, it's not that bad.
It's not that bad.
And we get a lot of sun up here. Our winters, we do get a lot of sun. And vitamin D, gotta have it, man.
Yeah, I know.
Sunshine drives me. Like that's my internal energy, is the sunshine.
Yeah. I think actually that was one of the reasons why I felt so, like back to summer school.
Yeah.
I almost felt that in July specifically, usually like my thought process was I bought like a range pass to Mac Island.
Absolutely.
Like, okay, I'll finish work at 2:00 every day.
Work on your swing.
Go work on my swing for a couple hours, then go for my old man walk in the evening. Because Cassidy was, she went back.
That trail down by Mac Island is great.
Yeah.
Along the river. Yeah. That might be the prettiest picture of one, right?
100%.
And it doesn't matter, you don't have to be a golfer. You can stand on that. It's number 16. By the river.
Yeah, you can like see the Little Islands thing there.
Yeah. That is on a clear day. An easy argument to be the prettiest.
Yeah. You have
picture.
a cliff.
Oh
like,
my God.
What? Everyone kind of like shits on it because it's Fort McMurray, but it's still nice.
People who shit on Fort McMurray don't know how great Fort McMurray is.
100%. I
They're
totally
idiots.
agree with
They're
you.
idiots.
I totally
let's
agree.
call them a spade.
Okay.
Let's call it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Anyway, but yeah, that I know why you walk down there. It is pretty, man. It is really nice down there.
100%. But my thing was, it was so smoky this year. But I honestly rarely went.
Yeah.
And I found that really, because I found at the end of the year, I mean, I think your burnout is kind of based on kind of what you anticipate your month or day is going to be like. If you have that troubled student,
absolutely,
or the student that's giving you trouble, I mean, that you're constantly thinking of, I think that's the kind of gear that just.
And everybody's
breaks,
burnout is different.
Yes, 100%. Yeah, I think that's the thing
life
too.
is so different.
Yeah.
Once we leave the confinements of these four walls, we kind of got an idea what most like. Yeah. So here's a question for you: you leave school, do you ever think about what my evening's going to be like? No. Think about your evening. Yeah. There's nothing wrong with that.
No.
You're in go mode. Yeah. What works for me, what I got to do for my wife, what's supper, what's our plans, my old man vlog. Yeah. Right? But so you stop and think about, and I'm trying to do more of that. It kind of just makes more self-aware. Yeah. But we all got so many things. We're parents, we're brothers, we're kids to our parents, we're teachers, we're coaches. Yeah. There's a million things going on in our lives. There's so many different identities. And burnout is so different.
Yeah, 100%. And then so I even found during the first week of summer school, for example, Cassidy was gone. I went home at the end of each day.
She went back in New Brunswick. Nice, good for her.
And because she went for about 3 weeks more, so my thinking was like, I'll do summer school, I'll meet you there. Yeah. That was kind of my thing. I'll make a little bit of extra money.
And you know what? To be honest, sometimes it's nice to have a couple weeks just away. Yeah. Absence makes the heart grow fonder. Yeah. There's a reason why it's around. Yeah. Right? It's nice to have time apart.
100%. And so, I'll come into this first. So actually, we had this conversation. You talking about your shed. Cass and I literally had this conversation 2 days ago.
Want to build a shed? Is that where we're going with this?
I said to her, if you had unlimited money, like what kind of house would you build or whatever? And so she.
That's on par with. How do you answer that?
Well, but my thing, I was like, you know what? I said, I think I would want our house, and I would want like a little guest house, but it wouldn't be a house, it would be my office. And I'd have a wooden fireplace.
Whatever you wanted there.
But then she said, so do you just want a house away from me? I was like, well, yeah, kind of.
I hope you said yes. And then your response to her is, you want your house away from me?
Yeah, so this will be yours.
I
said, this main one will be yours. I just want my little space to go to for an hour every night and just relax and kind of do my own thing. But
you asked questions. You had all the money in the world. Okay, so here's a question. Can money buy happiness?
I don't think so.
I have a line for that.
Money can buy freedom. And I find...
Is freedom happiness? Because we're pretty free, you and I.
That's fair.
We're pretty free.
We do have a lot of agency in kind of like how we can exercise.
We're sitting in our workplace, having a podcast, having a chat. Yeah. We're pretty free right now.
That's true. Right? It's fair.
Money can buy happiness, in my opinion. Yeah. But people who don't think so got no money.
Yeah. I'm year 2 on the teaching salary scale, so I...
Yeah, but you know what? That's
not bad. It really isn't bad.
But I'm okay for more raises. You keep going every year.
That's true. What is that? What do you think of that? How does that kind of play into your... I guess at the beginning you said like structure, ambition. How does kind of being told you cannot earn any more, etc.? I mean, I know you kind of find ways doing some basketball repping.
Yeah, I ref a lot of hockey. I ref a lot of basketball. I've always been good with money. Yeah. Like I had a paper route when I was, so I kicked around a lot of guys growing up. Mm-hmm. Some of my close friends. I used to do it before I had a paper route. The Western Star is a paper back in the West Coast Newfoundland. Monday to Sunday. Yep. Monday to Saturday. Yep. So it's a job. Is 20 minutes every day.
All the boys give you $2 for the paper every day.
But again, structure and a chore, structure and a job, right? Yeah. So me and my buddies would do their route. They would come with me, and even back then, I can remember my parents like, "You have to save half your money." Yeah. Why do I have to save half my money for a rainy day? What does that even mean, Mom?
Yeah. It rains all the time.
12 years old. Rainy day. Mom, I don't want rainy days. I want to go outside and go in the woods and
I want to buy
kill animals,
bars and
build cabins in trees, and have soft serve, right? Yeah. So ever since then, my parents did a really good job helping me understand that there is a value in money. Mm-hmm. And everybody spends beyond their means. Yeah. That's my main goal. When I get paid is I buy myself things I do. Like I just bought a new pair of skates this week. I can't wait. Yeah. When the doctor clears me. Yeah. but just don't try not to spend beyond your means.
Yeah.
So it is what it is. Like, would I like to make more money? Yeah, but that's out of my control.
So
I'm really working on having an opinion, but don't let it bother you because it's out of your control.
Yeah, and so I guess my question there is, again, I think even in Alberta, for the most part, like the salary is pretty solid, relatively speaking, compared to our housing, etc.
Are we still the highest in the country, Alberta?
I think
I haven't looked in a long time. It's like a couple years since I've really got into it.
I think, like, essentially, I don't know what it is for sure, but I know we get the living allowance here where we live.
Newfoundland teachers make good money now.
So that's the thing. I think it's relative to your cost of housing. So even here, 10 years ago, I mean, our purchasing power in our actual specific context has actually gone up, because you can get a house for essentially $200,000 less that you could have 10 years ago on almost the same. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's very much depending on where you live. And
like,
so
my house has gone down $175,000 in value.
Yeah.
Between 12 years.
Yeah.
Can't lose sleep over it. It is what it is.
It is what it is, honestly. But that's what I guess what it means. Like, where someone in my position were to go purchase a home now, and then it'll probably stay relatively.
Was that your plan?
Well, we'll see. We'll see what the future holds for me. But
you can't get your house away from your wife without buying a house.
I know.
Right? They kind of go hand in hand here, correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, what are some things that you do to kind of, because one of the biggest things we have right now is the ATA vote last year. I kind of wanted to talk to you about that, because I remember it was the day after the vote was held. I think I was maybe 6 or 7 weeks into my teaching career, and I remember we had a fire drill. We had a conversation that I overheard.
You and I did? Or?
You had a conversation with someone and I overheard it.
Okay.
And you said,
wow, this could be anything.
Well, no, because the vote was like 51-49.
Yeah,
but
it's ridiculous.
But I think it was only like 40% of teachers actually voted.
It was something like that.
You were like, I'm done. That was something along those lines. You were just like, I'm over it, kind of thing. So.
Well, it's like, you care, and we have some of our colleagues do a wonderful job here, like presenting and getting information to us.
Yes.
And I'm one of those OCD guys where if I have an email, I really try and read it, or I skim it really well, to get really the main gist of what I really need to know. It's like nobody voted. Why?
Yeah.
I think I voted on my phone, and I could be exaggerating. I think it might have took 90 seconds.
Yeah.
Like, honestly, what is 90 seconds in your day?
Yeah.
Even if you're missing information, or you're just feeling like you don't have the knowledge, text a colleague. You've got to have a colleague that can shed some light and look for some answers and then provide feedback. Mm-hmm. And your vote is feedback. Mm-hmm. And we miss the bus as teachers. And I know I voted. I know lots of my colleagues voted, but it's not going to change until people get up and actually have an opinion, right?
So that's kind of the root of the question I'm trying. I don't really know exactly what I'm trying to ask, but I guess the main theme is, what do you kind of do for setting up your finances accordingly, if you can share? Even if we didn't actually get into potentially going on strike to get an even higher raise, because we got 3.75% over 2 years, right? It was 1.7 last year.
Is it 2%? We get 2% raises coming up, right?
This September, like now we're starting our.
So like 200 change.
Yes, and there were other provinces, I think, that were kind of in the 7 to 10%.
Well, I think Newfoundland got like 8% raise, like not recently, like a number of years ago. But I remember seeing it. I'm like, whoa, good for them. Yeah. Like, awesome.
And so, so do you have anything that you would share? Because I know, right, like, honestly, it's one thing to say, I do all this reffing for basketball and for hockey, etc. But what about for someone who's kind of new to the profession, student loans? Like, how do you manage that when you are essentially kind of stuck in, no matter how much work you do, it's kind of more so expected when you're on the newer end to kind of do more of those extracurricular stuff at that same kind of salary scale. So you're at that ambition kind of question about, what do I do extra? How can I find ways to kind of make ends meet a little bit more? But what are your thoughts on that?
Isn't groceries got to pay? You said ends meet. Sorry, my mind went. Groceries are 100%. It's unbelievable. Yeah,
I bought like 3 things of fruit the other day. $37. I was like, oh my god.
It's like, you want to sell me a bag for $2, but it's like, this bag does. If I fill this bag, it's $100.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Anyway, so back to the money thing. You know what? I've always, Fort McMurray is an opportunistic place, and I've always had a secondary income. Yeah. My first 5 years I was here, I bartended.
Okay.
So I bartended downtown Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday I finished with football, so I made lots of money there.
Okay.
I've always refed, specifically basketball. Hockey, got back into hockey last couple of years. For me, it's like I invest a percentage, I save a percentage goes into my mortgage account where all my bills come out, and what's left is left. That's it. That's mine. And I really, depends if you want to buy stuff, but I just don't go, like, so I bought a pair of skates, but I put money away from reffing back in April when I was ready to buy my skates. So my skates were.
You're just very prudent.
Yeah, like, so some buddies call me cheap, and I'm like, no man, I'm frugal. Yeah. Like, I'm not. I'm not cheap. I just like, so I put money away from my skates for $900. Yeah. Ish, just short of 900. Yeah. But I had that money saved from April. Yeah. So it's like I just do those little things because, again, spending beyond your means is so important. Yeah. And try not to. That's all. Right? Yeah. Like, understand. Like, have money for beer. Yeah. Have money for darts if you want to have a couple darts. Right? Bag chips. People misses it for a nice meal. Yeah. Like, I look at myself as I'm rich in the fact that I can take my girlfriend out for supper. Yeah. And I don't have to worry about it if we spend $200. Yeah. It's not even, it's a pebble in a pond. Yeah. I don't care about $200. Yeah. So you're kind of rich and you can do that.
Well, actually, I remember.
Right? Does that make sense?
When you said does money buy happiness, one of the things was there's a comedian, Brian Callen. I don't know if you're familiar with him at all.
No, you and Paul are talking about comedians all the time, and I'm really new. I don't know comedians.
Yeah, that's fine. But he's someone I haven't really listened to that much. But essentially, he said money only buys happiness up to the point where you can essentially buy whatever you want at a restaurant and not care about what the price is of it.
He's right.
Like, you want 3 different appetizers and you want the steak and you don't have to think about it. He's like, that is what freedom is. Absolutely. Going to a restaurant and just being able to get whatever you want and just being like, oh, everything's good. So again, because I kind of feel like I was very fortunate in kind of how the health that I had going through.
You like red wine, right?
100%.
It's delicious. I'm gonna drink lots of it today.
It's juice.
Here, so talking about freedom, what's the most expensive bottle of red wine you bought at a meal? Anywhere in the world, like.
Honestly,
because we all travel a little bit, so.
No, well, honestly,
do you remember?
I haven't traveled yet. I've really only had like red wine here, so maybe like $60, $70. But still.
That's a pretty adult move.
Yeah. Really, I can buy wine for supper.
Right? Yeah. I'm free.
Yeah.
Like, here's my freedom. Take my 3 green queens. Give me that bottle of red, right? I'm wondering what my most expensive bottle of wine was now. I bought one in Vegas one time. Yeah. I think it was.
Never been to Vegas.
Oh, buddy.
I want to go. Yeah.
Are you a gambler?
No, but I mean, like,
you don't have to be.
No. Just for the
Vegas is. I've traveled a little bit. I travel a lot less than some, but yeah, Vegas is. If you haven't gone,
just a wild place.
100% you need to see it. Yeah. I've been 4 times. It's been a couple years since I've been back. Yeah. We had that flu thing go around, right?
Yes.
So I didn't really travel much, but yeah, you should go once. Yeah. Take your missus. Yeah. Like, you don't need gambling. No. Food, good drinks, good concerts.
Yeah. Well, yeah, the people do. What's it called? So like comedians or even singers or like musicians will do
like house stays.
Yeah, they'll be there for every night for a month.
Yeah, they'll headline for weeks and months at a time. Yeah, absolutely.
There's a name for it. I can't remember it now, but.
And my suggestion is Mandalay Bay.
Yes, yeah. If you're gonna do it,
you gotta go to Mandalay Bay. They have the nicest situation out in the back of their
what do you mean situation?
So it's a beach. They have their own beach that's enclosed, and you honestly can't see much of Vegas at all. When I'm saying much, you really can't. You don't even know you're in Vegas. It feels like you're down there. The sand's been imported from maybe Dominican, maybe Jamaica. Oh yeah. They got this huge, massive freshwater wave pool. It is unreal. They have a lazy man river for the old man, right? So you go for an old man float, old man walk, right? Yeah. Is that your new one, old man float? Yeah. That's my suggestion. Okay. I think your wife would really like it. Yeah. She's a sun person. She likes being in the sun. 100%. But she'll love the freshwater wave pool.
And I will love the old man river.
Oh, it's great. Just keep a little beverage in your hand. Yeah. Go for a little float.
Well, yeah, because I'm even. Kind of the next thing I wanted to talk about was kind of over the summer when it comes to, I almost feel like I have this internal pressure from I've had this conversation with a few people, It's almost an internal pressure that you think other teachers are putting on you, but you're kind of putting it on yourself. So for example, when I finish summer school and I go to Newfoundland this summer, I get to Newfoundland, my first thing is, okay, now I have time for some reading, right?
Okay.
Because I'm an old man. During the day,
Reading doesn't make you old.
No.
Reading is good for you.
I know.
Reading is good for everyone.
But we stayed in a camper, right, in Kings Point.
Yeah, I've seen a picture.
Yeah,
it looked nice. Actually, really nice.
Awesome. But it was mostly rainy most of the time, and then we had a fire pit right outside, and I had my book, so I read Bloodlands. But it's a book strictly on I don't want to go too much into detail, but it's essentially the tearing up of Poland between Hitler and Stalin. So it is a wild book.
I know a little bit. I don't know a lot. But that alone, there's a lot of context.
100%. Yeah. And so, but my thing was, I need to still be productive. I need to read this book so I can be better at teaching social.
You're internalizing.
100%.
You think you're being lazy, but you're not being lazy.
I think I'm being lazy, but I'm actually reading for 3 hours a day, trying to be better at whatever I'm doing eventually anyway, right?
Okay.
So where do you think that pressure comes from? Do you think a lot of burnout comes from that?
Do you teach a diploma course?
I do, yes.
And that's where it comes from.
Okay. So what do you think? Why?
Statistically, I don't say that word.
Yeah.
Sorry, I got gun in my mouth.
Statistically
driven.
Yeah.
The world is based on stats and analytics. Now, more so, not the world. Majority of the things we see and do.
Yes.
Right. Your phones are just listening to us.
Yeah.
Algorithms, if you want to call it. They're just listening to us, and all of a sudden, because I have a broken bone in my arm, you should see the stuff that comes up. I don't even go on social media. It's like, oh, try this copper sleeve. I'm like, why are you guys creeping me? This is weird.
Yeah, but
I don't know because of burnout. It goes back to you think you're being lazy. Yeah. So you're being hard on yourself. But then are you actually retaining what you're reading? Because you got to feel forced to do it. If you're feeling forced to do it, are you retaining what you're reading? No doubt you're soaking it in, but are you, I guarantee you're less of a sponge. Let's call you a sponge for a moment. You're less of a sponge if you just sat down on your patio, it's a nice day, you have nowhere to go, you just pick up a book.
That is fair.
Forcing yourself to do it.
Yeah, because it almost feels like you're in a work mindset. So I almost find that whenever I start thinking about work or starting to stress, I'll start biting my lip on the inside.
Oh, really?
It's just like an automatic thing.
Like a tick.
I don't even realize.
Like a tick.
100%.
Gotcha.
I don't even realize it's happening.
Everybody got their own little tick.
100%. But I'm like, oh, that's my, like something's triggering a little bit of anxiety there. Okay. So I think when I'm in my classroom or I'm preparing for what I'm doing in my classroom, I just have this stage of my mind that I go to of, okay, it's kind of my planning mode, right? Yeah. And so I think I kind of get into that planning mode when I do that reading. So that's interesting that you say that it's just essentially just internalizing. And the internalizing, if it makes you anxious, is not actually benefiting you because you're probably not retaining.
So okay, so let's go back to this. I just thought something. Yeah. Is it anxiety or is it just life? Do we use the term anxiety too much?
I think so. Yeah.
Like,
I think it's just.
Does it exist? Yeah. But like I grew up in a time where like people didn't get anxious. They got stressed for a moment. Yeah. And then life moves on. You figure it out. But like, oh my gosh.
No, I know. Well, and so like, you don't really strike me as an anxious person at all.
No, I've had my moments though. Yeah. We all have our moments. Yeah. I've had some dark moments where I, feel mentally exhausted and just really super anxious. Yeah. I had, that I can recall, I think I had maybe 2 panic attacks in my life, and that's very strange because I'm not an anxious person. Yeah. I'm pretty even keel most days, and I'm a much different person outside of work than I am at work. Okay. Like you've been around me outside work. Very tone mellow, right? Like chill. Yeah,
that's true.
Right?
That is true.
I'm amped up at work because I think I need to be. But
so what do you mean by that? You think you need to be?
It's just so we have friends that work on a site. They get these guys work on night shift. They can have a nap, and I'm like, what? I look at them like, that's not a real job. You don't get to sleep at work. Now, if you're doing night shift, you're a nurse and you shut her down for an hour because that's scheduled in, or a doctor, or that sort of thing. That's different, right? Because to me, you need that you need that acuity.
When you literally have life or death care in your hands,
absolutely
it's different. Yeah.
So, and I try to explain to people, I'm like, I don't think you get like not specifically teaching, but just what our job entails.
Being on.
There's 1,600 kids. The minute we run into this building, and we're generally running late because we don't know what goes on in our mornings.
Yeah.
There's not 1,600 because our building has 1,600, but there's 300 moving pieces surrounding around you all the time. So it's like you have to be amped up. Doesn't that amp you up? It has to.
100%.
It's just the congestion. It's the loudness. It's the drama that's created. It's some kid crying in the corner. Why are you crying? I don't know why I'm crying. Do you know what I mean? Like it's
just a lot of moving parts every morning.
Is a grease machine,
Yeah.
right? Like it is what it is. Like it's almost insane when you break it down to what it actually does.
Yeah.
So I'll give you an example.
Yeah.
Last year, when we had our first staff back meeting,
yeah.
And they announced that I was going to be the parking lot.
Yeah.
Parking lot cop, right? Yeah. The Paul Blart of the parking lot.
Yes.
I'll call myself.
Oh yeah.
Mark said, Mr. Dahlman, our principal, says, is there anything else? So I put my hand up. I wanted to add something. Yeah. And I said, going back to the first day of school.
Yeah.
So you got 4 schools on this street.
Mm-hmm.
So I just kind of never fair warn. I just suggested to staff that, hey, I want you to think about this for a second. There's some staff may remember. Last year we had 1,400 kids.
I think so, yeah. Probably.
Trinity had 1,200.
Probably.
That's 2,600. I don't know what Christina Gordon and St. Martha has.
Yeah.
Let's argue say 500 per building.
Probably, if not more.
Right? Yeah, so it's a safe number. So you're looking at, what's that, 3,600?
Easily.
14, 12, and 1,000, 3,600.
Yeah.
And then you have, let's say, another 500 moving people.
Yeah.
So you're talking let's argue say 4,000 people from 7:45 to 8:30.
Yeah.
When we start, I think we're the latest building on the street.
Yeah.
You got 4,000 humans trying to get somewhere. Parsons Street is not that big, man.
No.
How does that not get you amped up? Really though, I'm extreme road rage.
So you like the action of things are happening, it's moving.
Well, it's
kind of what
for me. It's
energizes you.
100%. It's
okay.
energy, right?
Okay.
Like it has to energize you.
Okay.
Because you think about it, like say you wake up and you're sluggish, you've had a long night. It's called a long night.
Yeah.
And you wake up on Saturday, you mope around. You don't get to mope around when you come to our job.
Yeah, that's true. You
There's no moping.
You don't just get to fade into the background. And hopefully
you can't hide in our job.
Are you checking your emails? No one's looking at you. Here you have 35 students every hour
in front of you all day,
waiting for every single word that you say.
Yeah,
essentially
banking on your direction.
Yeah,
right. It's crazy, right?
Yeah, that is. Yeah, I think we have a weird job. Some of the things
weird.
that students will say to you too. That's just
they have a filter now.
Super inappropriate. It's crazy.
Why can't kids have a filter?
It is wild.
The things that students have said to me, directly to me in passing around my vicinity.
So what would be some examples of just crazy things? Not anything related to their personal lives, but just things that they say out of the blue that where you're just
trying to think of did he really just say that? Or did they really just say that?
Yeah. I almost
I don't know. I don't know. It's that's a tough question again. It's like asking you what's your favorite song?
Yeah.
It's daily, I think all of us. How many staff are at this school? 80?
I think we literally have just ATA teachers, I think, is
80-ish?
almost 80. They're 60, or at least 70.
All of us have a story every day about
every single day.
Holy Christ, that person. You know what I mean?
Well, and so this happened to me last year. A student walks into my classroom. They said, have you ever heard this song before? And I was like, oh, yeah, I've heard the song before. And they said, yeah, I had sex to it over the weekend.
What?
And I don't really know this kid, and I won't.
Oh,
and
my
I said,
God. There's so many different wrong things with that.
So first thing I was in my head, I said, what? And then he said it again. And I
the hamster on your wheel fell off and got a concussion.
Well,
that's what happened.
I looked at him, I was like, what?
Yeah.
And he said it again, and I was shocked. I was just like,
who's the one teacher you would want to see on our staff? That if our kids said that to that teacher, who's the one teacher on staff you would want to see oh man, their facial expression instant gold.
I feel like Rex.
Yeah.
Someone said that to
me. It'd be McMurray.
Yeah.
because Steph is great. She's awesome. And if a kid said that, I would love to see
She would just be able to
her reaction.
Yeah.
Like, I can't even begin to go where my mind would go, be like, oh my God, what is she going to say? What is she
So,
going to
like, what would you have said to that? Because I honestly just stopped the conversation and just kept doing
This is my line. I have a line.
Yeah.
That goes in the book of things I don't want to hear.
Okay.
So don't repeat that to me.
Yeah.
I have 3 or 4 that I learned from other older teachers. You got like, oh wait, this is just a way to get out.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to say that. You don't say that to me. Like, just that goes in the book of things you don't ever say to me.
Yes.
Don't repeat that.
I know.
And I don't even give a response. I just turn and walk away.
But why is that not already there? Like, would you have ever said that to one of your teachers?
Oh my God, no.
I guess
Never.
I might have said something pretty crazy to Brian too, though.
It's again, okay, so their minds are so warped in the fact that they need immediate gratification.
Yeah. So,
And
well, because my
they're
wondering was, why would he feel the need? Or why would they
Acceptance.
feel the need?
He wants to tell somebody because
Like
he
he
never,
wants Mr. Clark to say, like, oh.
he
like,
told
that's
someone
sick,
didn't
man.
get the reaction he wanted. So now he's trying to get another reaction from someone.
Yeah. It's looking
Because if he's
elsewhere.
telling you, you're not the first person,
No.
right? And well, even more, if you are the first person he's telling that to,
Yeah, there's a lot of.
why does it go there? That's even a bigger flag. If you're the first guy,
And
the
I can
first person,
I can maybe understand if this is a kid that I've known for a long time, and maybe they think they're just getting too comfortable, and then I put the wall
grade
up.
10.
I won't share anything with the detail, but essentially I stopped.
I'll fish.
I stopped, and usually if you kind of know the kid a bit more, you say, okay.
Hello again, everyone. Just wanted to say thank you for taking the time out of your day to listen to this conversation, and hopefully you enjoyed the conversation just as much as I did. If there are any issues with professional conduct and or you would like to share your own story, experience, or something you would like to contribute to the show, please reach out at lucasrvclark97@gmail.com or send a direct message on Instagram to @mrclark.afterdark. Hope you enjoyed, potentially found something of use, and of course, please do not forget to subscribe. See you next time, unless you're scared.